Johnson.
Hello?
Please say hello, sir.
Wonderful to talk to you.
Yes, Wes Johnson, your IMDb profile enjoys telling the world that you are an actor, a stand-up and improv comedian. You've worked in radio, TV, film, and even video games.
Even video games, and I can make a mean egg.
Ooh. Did you poach?
Well, I do poach most of the eggs illegally.
Those poor, poor creatures.
Yeah. And he beats them unmercifully until they're really mean.
That's right. They are mean eggs. I mean, seriously, you mistreat them long enough, and they get a very thin shell.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of living with the same 12 or same 11.
Personally, I'm tired of walking on eggshells anyway. But, well, a very pleasant surprise, you happen to bring some friends.
Yes, with me here, this is Mike Rosson.
How do you do?
Known on IMDb as Michael Rosson, but you might know him better from Fallout 3 as Gob or Colin Moriarty. And how many other decrepit characters?
Most of the ghouls and the professor.
Oh, right, the professor, was it like Lesko?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Based on Lesko, based upon your Jerry Lewis fixation?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Oh, that's where that comes from. He was in the mission Those,
yes.
the giant ants.
Yeah, the giant ants.
The giant ants,
with
yes.
them, the giant ants.
Yeah.
And over here we've got graphic artist Brad Dismukes, who's hiding over there in the corner.
Oh, it's just the way I comb my hair. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the podcast.
How are you, Brad?
So, but we're having a nice time here at MAGFest, and I mean, it's okay to let people know we're here at MAGFest.
Yeah, that's it's.
We're here at MAGFest.
Anything goes.
We had a great time. We did the Voice of Palooza today, and we actually took the first 26 minutes of Pulp Fiction, the screenplay, and gave characters to different people to use their most popular video game character voice as different characters. So we had John Patrick Lowry, who plays Sniper in Team Fortress 2. He was Pumpkin, the characters at the beginning. There was Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, and Honey Bunny was Karen Carbone, who's wonderful. She played Moira Brown in Fallout 3.
Oh, wow.
So she was Honey Bunny, and frankly, the more profane Honey Bunny got, the better with the sunshiny quality of Moira Brown. We had...
I have to say, sir, I sincerely hope that someone videotaped that. I would have gone, but I was actually in a rock band vocals tournament.
Oh, wow.
I lasted way longer than I should have with as bad a cold as I have right now.
So you and I both are fighting the laryngitis, huh?
I don't think it's laryngitis. Just about everyone I've talked to is ill from something or other. I mean, normally I plan...
Well, here at a thing like this, it's mostly
Yeah, well, that's nice.
scabies, crabs, the clap. It's all that, yeah.
I was planning on being sick after a convention, not before.
Well, you know, why not? Spread some joy.
I like a nice schistosomiasis.
Well, as long as you can get the sauce.
I think they charge extra for that.
Do they? Really?
Yeah.
So I've been screwing up the temerity to say that really Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of this generation, and with both of you here, I'm so tempted to ask if if Uncle Leo and Gob could argue about what to get on their pizza or something.
Really? Don't want more human flesh.
I hate pepperonis.
What is a pepperoni?
But I love those little fish. Whatever the hell else they are.
Fish. I like the fish, but I don't like to fish for fish.
And I want it burned and ice cold.
You're a strange man.
Oh, you don't know the half of it, pal.
That was really impressive. I actually remember when I was playing through the game for the first time, I thought that those voices just sounded so inhuman that I figured that you
and now that you see us, you know it's true.
And now, I figured that you guys needed a filter or some digital.
Not much.
Sort of that. No, that's
That was one of the things you're talking about. People ask that and say how much processing goes in. Sometimes there's processing, but you need to have the voice in order for it to happen. I mean, the Super Mutants, for me, the whole session with the Super Mutants was just 4 hours of, like, you know, veins popping out of my head trying to do it, and like Uncle Leo, he was okay, but Fox was tougher because Fox is like highly intelligent, whereas the super mutants with the FEV strain that they have, which is different by the way than the West Coast FEV.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Yeah. What happened here? Oh, wait a minute. Got a message. Oh, it's Bethesda. My NDA just kicked in. No. Basically, what were we talking about?
Process
Of the voicing and the processing. With the super mutants, it was just like exhausting. But you've got Fox, who's trying to get this intelligence out of these vocal cords that were not built for speech. It's like a gorilla. It's like trying to push Socrates' thoughts through a gorilla's voice box. So it was very painful for Fox even to get that out. Now, Mike, who's great with his, with all, you were the ghouls, all of his ghouls, I mean, you listen to that voice and you can just hear the seared flesh, the flaky skin, and as you can look at him, you can see it.
Yeah. I'm so sorry that we don't have a camera running right now, but
I think we do.
I was going to say the audience is probably grateful.
yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind getting back to Fox, but really quickly, I just discovered you're also the voice of the Protectrons. The
Protectron robots,
1950s style boxy robots.
I love, my favorite part of that was like the Protectrons. Boy, my voice is pretty rough today, but when they would suddenly break out and go Nuka-Cola, you know, in the middle of it. But welcome, Pilgrim, and the voice has a meter that changes as it speaks, and then they threw a little processing on it, and then you have but I wanted to do the Protectrons also for Fallout New Vegas. I didn't get a chance to, so that was kind of a bummer.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, I figured the same company would make the Protectrons. I understand the difference between the mutants on the West and East Coast.
Those are the West Coast Protectrons.
That sound like Chris Tucker for some reason. I don't get that. It's like people were telling me that they thought that I had taken my voice for Hermaeus Mora from a drugged up Bane from Batman. But you know what? I predated the voice of Bane by a couple of years. So if anybody's copying anybody, Mr. Bane, it's you.
Okay, well, both Sean and Brian do some pretty kicking Bane impressions.
Yeah?
That's the newer ones.
Let's how about we say that, save it to the end?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Of course, I visited your panels last year, and the one phrase I definitely took away from it, from the experience is, you Klingon bastards, you killed my son.
Did you? Were you the Klingon bastard that killed my son? Tomorrow I'm going to do, for the first time, I used to do a song on a radio station called WHFS, and it was You Klingon Bastard.
Yeah, I found it on YouTube.
Well, I'm going to do it live for the first time ever tomorrow at my panel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it'll be awful. Just awful.
But, it reminded me that surely you are a large fan of Star Trek.
I am. I'm a Shatner fan. I've made fun of Shatner. I did the William Shatner School of Acting on Funny or Die. But truthfully, I've studied at the William Shatner School of Acting. I've studied at the William Shatner School of Acting.
Watch out, he's about to sell his price line.
So I felt that I would take this opportunity to, I've had my own reasons in which whenever the past couple of months, there are a lot of Star Trek fans who go to my social club, and I've asked them all this question. I'm really amused by the response, but if I may, what can you tell me about the original series episode Cat's Paw?
Cat's Paw. Was that that wasn't the Kirk girl switching? Which one was it?
Give me turnabout.
Yeah, give us
the
3%.
Intruder, right? The last one.
And you've just answered my question, in which no matter how big, no matter how,
Wait a minute.
how badly a Star Trek fan professes to know absolutely everything, everyone has to be reminded what Cat's Paw is.
Wait a minute, Cat's Paw, isn't that the one where they had like it was like a faraway kind of planet with it had sort of like cone-shaped buildings nearby, and there was a woman who was like she wasn't a Vulcan. Was she a Vulcan or was she a Romulan?
I actually don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, actually, but I still know there was a girl in like this sort of shimmery, gossamery kind of outfit. Was
Okay,
there not?
there was
Spock was heavily involved.
Okay, that was probably the Enterprise incident, in which...
No?
The Caspar was the wizard guy, and
You got it, thank you.
Yeah. And at the end they're dancing around
There's-
little weird creatures.
Mike
like,
Hansen.
Yes, it's the one with the space wizards.
Yeah.
And I profess that it is
It
among
was a Halloween episode.
I profess that it's among the most crushingly mediocre of all of the
awesome.
series, and so much that absolutely no one can remember
Well,
it.
crushingly mediocre is one thing, but I mean, if you get so bad that it's awesome, like Spock's brain, you know, it's so
I
similar
thought
to
the Yangs and the Kongs was
Yes,
really, really.
I always did love the Agony Booth's essay long review on Spock's brain, in which they took great glee in the fact that you can control Spock with a garage door opener that has 8 buttons on it.
I mean, man,
All,
look,
8 buttons is all you need.
look at this. Every one of us, though, to this day, are now carrying around our own tricorder and communicator in one. I loved the phones of about 6 years ago because you did have the flip phone. There we go. That,
All
so Mike
right.
has
Yeah,
a flip
Scotty.
phone.
Ooh.
You can flip it, and it's like the old Star Trek thing. I mean, even on Boston Legal. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, there.
Sweet.
See, that's what you need.
Sweet.
Need
The
the chart,
Bluetooth
yeah.
communicator
You have to
that
show me
attaches
what
to your
that
phone.
is.
Yeah.
That's that. Somebody needs to make that.
Pardon me.
Eventually, they'll just put it in your
I find
head.
much information on Gross National Product.
Oh,
Gross National Product was a comedy troupe here in Washington, D.C., and we would do political humor for years and years. Worked with Brad over here.
yes, I worked with them for 11 years.
He worked with them much longer than I did.
11 years.
Brad was their sound guy and graphics guy extraordinaire. I was with a troupe called Fresh Victims, which basically I loved our design. Logo design was a body chalk outline with a smile across the face. Mike Rosson here was a member of the Video Pirates, which was one of the bigger comedy duos of the 80s.
And Wes would sometimes sit in with us. I was Captain Cable. My partner was Old Ben Skinbeard, the Sailor, the Third, PhD, shut up. And I was just full
Esquire.
Esquire. And Wes would sometimes drop in as Peghead.
Yeah.
Peghead.
Well, yeah, you know, of course, once
I
the
feel like
noggin is removed, it's replaced with nothing but hollow wood.
I feel like I've seen that in a Ziggy cartoon once before.
Again, Ziggy stole from us, that son of a bitch.
The question.
I'm not allowed to say bad words here.
No, you could call Ziggy a big nosed bastard, and no one would
okay.
be offended,
So,
or anything.
so real quickly, how much better was the Gross National Product than the Capital Steps?
We were a comedy group.
When I was with Gross National Product, they were way better, and then they dropped well below it when I left.
Well below. Yeah.
Sorry. They'll probably hear this later. Of all the things that I've done since leaving Gross National Product, the only thing they would hear would be that.
Well, I'll repeat it. I mean, I was there well after you did, and
Sorry.
freaking yikes.
Sorry, Capital Steps. The Capital Steps are great for what they are. I especially love. There's a guy named Richard Paul who sang with them. It's very funny. And Richard, I remember one of my favorite stories about him was when he was on a moped and he was driving through a bad section of town. And guys started chasing him, yelling, "That's my moped!" And they were in their tennis shoes, almost faster than Richard was. But you know, with that little stress and strain, trying to push that moped just a little bit faster, please. I still, whenever I think of the Capitol Steps, all I think of is a very heavily sweating Richard Paul trying to gun a moped down the middle of the streets of D.C. You know, so I mean that's funny.
I wish him luck.
That's funny. You know, I can't. There's nothing else that comes to mind about G&P that's funnier than that.
I wish that whenever I think of Washington D.C., I could think of something other than the traffic. But
Yeah.
we came here from Frederick, and Justin's GPS wound us through Baltimore, down through Laurel, and just basically hugging essentially the west coast of Chesapeake Bay, and we all looked at it and said, "Good job."
Yeah.
We were all cursing Magellan's name.
Well, you know, the GPS really is just their initials for the little old lady that's giving directions named Gladys P. Smith. And Gladys gets confused occasionally.
She has a lovely voice, though.
She does. I've switched mine to Australian. She's better that way.
She must sound really badass.
She is. She's very badass.
And remind you of the 80s.
I want to get Ellen McLean to do my GPS. Have a GLaDOS GPS.
I'm told that she's going to be in an upcoming movie, Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim, essentially playing GLaDOS.
Basically, they wanted her. They loved her. They asked the folks over Valve if they could use her, and yeah, that she's going to do it. And we're all very excited. We were on the panel today with John Patrick Lowry, and I actually have a phone message on my phone right now from Ellen, which was, we called her and pranked her, started to prank her yesterday on our voice panel. John St. John, Duke Nukem got on with his balls of steel, and he got on and started talking to her.
We interviewed him earlier, actually. Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
John is.
Wes, what do you think of power armor?
Power armor?
I'm sorry.
I love power armor.
Okay.
Well, you asked Wes.
Thank you. That's why you're a comedian. You gave me the unexpected response. Thank you.
Most of the folks today knew me better as like Sheogorath from the Elder Scrolls, or the Imperial Guard, walking around all the time going, "Halt, criminal scum!"
Yeah, I know, and sadly, I've never beat Oblivion, and I have yet to start Skyrim. I just know that if I do...
Did you play Shivering Isles?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's the one to do, lad.
I definitely saw. I saw some Let's Plays online, and I especially liked that. I remember walking to your throne room, and there's this giant stone bed with like 10-foot tall spikes just kind of sitting out there in the lawn, and I remember like, oh, whatever that's for. And so of course the guy doing the Let's Play must have read my mind, because he ran right up and punched you in the face.
Yes.
At which point he teleported about 5 miles above those spikes and
enjoy the view.
Fell for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, you have to save before you do something and shoot Sheogorath. However, if you want to hear his whole line, I suggest you go from the other side of the room and shoot him with an arrow, because then he'll speak his whole line as he's walking to you. Otherwise, if you're too close, go right up there and hit him in the face. It's like, you should not have, and you're gone. You don't get to hear his whole line.
I'll have to remember that. I almost forgot. As I was looking up information about Fresh Victims, it seems that the Washingtonian magazine sung your highest praises by saying that Wes Johnson suggests the spirit of John Belushi inhabiting the frame of Jackie Gleason.
As just to say I'm fat.
I was gonna say that. That's what it sounded like to me.
It's like the spirit of John Belushi. He's dead. In the frame of Jackie Gleason, he's dead and fat. So actually, I think they meant to be nice. I'm pretty sure they meant to be nice. But that being said, I've lost 90 pounds in the past 6 months.
Oh wow!
And hopefully, I will be no longer inhabiting their frames, and will be able to continue working on my own.